When the first light touches the horizon, the path of the warrior has already begun. Before the birds break the silence, before the wind has chosen its direction, strength is already being forged. It is not the sun that wakes the warrior, it is purpose. Those who wait for motivation are already behind. Those who rise only when comfort allows are already defeated. The strongest do not wake up like the rest of the world. They rise with intention, not desire. They rise because the day is a battlefield, and victory belongs to those prepared before the first strike is ever seen. Most people wake with the mindset of surviving the day, but the warrior awakens to conquer it. While others search for reasons to stay in bed, the warrior has already found a reason to stand. The morning is sacred because it is the moment when distractions have not yet invaded the mind. This is when clarity is sharpest. This is when discipline is tested. The sword of the mind is sharpened before anything else. Without mastery of the mind, no skill can carry you through battle. When the body is still tired and the soul wants to rest, that is the precise moment strength is earned. Discipline is not built when you want to act. It is built when you do not want to act but move forward anyway. Those who wait for the right feeling stay trapped in weakness, but those who embrace discomfort develop a strength few can understand. Every morning presents a choice to continue down the road of the ordinary or rise onto the path of the exceptional. The world judges success by what is seen, but the warrior knows that every victory in public was built in private hours of solitude, sweat, and silence. The battlefield only reveals what mornings have already decided. There is power in waking before the chaos of the day begins. There is power in training the body until it obeys without complaint. There is power in setting your intentions before the world tries to shape them for you. When you rise early, you declare, "I will command my life, the world will not command me." Strength is not simply the ability to strike harder than an opponent. True strength is the ability to strike harder than your excuses, to face the self each dawn and refuse to be weaker than yesterday. The warrior sees each sunrise as a gift, but also a challenge, an invitation to reach further than before. It is not about being better than others, it is about being beyond who you once were. Remember, the day you sleep too long is the day your edge begins to dull. The enemy is not the one before you, it is the comfort within you. Rise early, act with intention, and prepare your spirit before the world wakes up to stop you. Strength is forged before the world opens its eyes. The greatest battles are not fought with steel, but with the mind. The blade you carry is only as sharp as the thoughts that guide it. A warrior can train his body for years, but if his mind trembles even for a heartbeat, defeat finds its way through that single crack. Fear, doubt, hesitation, these are enemies far more dangerous than any opponent standing before you. The world will try to strike you from the outside, but the first strike always comes from within. Most people wake into a day filled with noise and confusion, letting the world decide what they should think and feel. They are pulled by distraction, controlled by emotion, weakened by every little disturbance. They panic when life becomes uncertain. They freeze when chaos appears. They have not learned the first law of the warrior's path: control the mind and the battlefield becomes smaller. Calm is not something granted by peace. Calm is something forged in turmoil. A warrior trains his mind to be still even when the heart races, to be deliberate even when danger rises, to see clearly even when the world shakes. Storms may rage outside, but the warrior remains unmoved, because he understands that clarity is his most powerful strategy. If the mind is steady, the body will follow. When fear whispers lies, telling you that you are not enough, you silence it by taking action. When anxiety tries to rush you toward mistakes, you slow down your breath, grounding your spirit. When doubt suggests turning back, you step forward anyway. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it is mastery over it. Control of the mind is not achieved in a single moment. It is trained every time you refuse to surrender to your weaker thoughts. Discipline is a weapon, focus is a shield, intention is your true sword. Every decision you make shapes your destiny. If you allow negative thoughts to rule you, you will become a servant to your own mind. But if you command your thoughts with strength and wisdom, the world cannot bend you. You must be capable of quieting the chaos inside so no chaos outside can break you. And how is such a mind built? Through reflection, through persistence, through struggle willingly embraced. The warrior observes his emotions without letting them control his actions. He studies his mistakes instead of hiding from them. He welcomes challenges, knowing each one sharpens him. A day without challenge is a day without growth. A warrior seeks friction because that is where mastery lives. Understand this clearly: your life will be shaped by the battles you choose to fight in your mind. Most people battle against others, but the true warrior battles against the limitations of the self. Who you become depends on how fiercely you resist the urge to remain comfortable, distracted, and weak. Your inner world is the real arena. Conquer it, and no force on earth will ever conquer you. Win the mind, and all else falls into place. Every strike begins long before the blade is drawn. Every victory is born long before the battle begins. A warrior does not simply react to life, he shapes life with deliberate intention. Those who drift through their days like fallen leaves in the wind are always surprised when defeat arrives. They blame fate, misfortune, or enemies. But the truth is simple: when you fail to set a purpose, everything becomes a distraction and every obstacle becomes an excuse. Purpose is the fire in the warrior's chest. It is what wakes him before the sun rises. It gives clarity when the world is full of noise. Without purpose, even strength becomes wasted, because where will you direct it? Many live without direction, running endlessly but arriving nowhere. They confuse movement with progress, effort with meaning. A warrior knows that every step, every task, every breath must move him closer to his mission. If it does not, it is only slowing him down. You must ask yourself, why do I rise? What do I fight for? Until you answer this, you will remain in the dark. Once you know your purpose, however, a path begins to form where others see none. The world grows quieter. Fear loses power, doubt fades into the background, because a warrior who knows his purpose cannot be broken, he can only be delayed. Even when he is struck down, he rises again, driven by something greater than pain. Purpose is not found in comfort. It reveals itself in struggle, in the moments when giving up seems easier. When sweat burns your eyes, when your muscles scream, when the mind begs for rest, this is where your purpose tests you. Only those who choose to keep going discover how strong their why truly is. And once you feel it in your bones, you will realize that nothing can stop you except your own refusal to continue. Do not wait for life to hand you meaning. Create it, sharpen it, protect it. You must learn to say no to people, to temptations, to anything that pulls you away from your mission. A warrior's time is sacred. His attention is precious. He does not waste either on things that weaken him. Every day is a new chance to prove his commitment through action. Words are loud, actions are truth. As you advance toward your purpose, you will outgrow people who lack one. They may call you cold, distant, obsessed. Let them speak. They stare because you are moving. They criticize because they are standing still. A warrior does not slow down for the comfort of the weak. He continues forward not to impress anyone but because the mission demands nothing less. Remember this: your purpose is the compass that guides every decision. Protect it with the ferocity of a warrior defending his homeland. When you devote yourself completely to what must be done, life bends to your will. Obstacles become stepping stones, resistance becomes strength, and every morning you rise with fire in your soul and victory already in motion. Live with purpose, and the world will remember your name only through your actions. There is a moment in every day where you must face yourself, not the mask you show to others, not the confident posture or the loud declarations of ambition. I speak of the silent confrontation, the one that happens when no one is watching. In those quiet hours, comfort becomes the greatest enemy. It whispers that you have done enough, that you can relax, that the world will wait while you indulge. But comfort is a slow and silent assassin. It does not strike with force. It drains you drop by drop until strength becomes softness and discipline becomes memory. A warrior must learn to choose the harder path by instinct. When the body begs for ease, you step into resistance. When the mind seeks distraction, you turn toward focus. You must train yourself to endure what others run from, not because suffering alone creates strength, but because you refuse to be mastered by weakness. You must be the one who decides, not your fear, not your laziness, not your doubt. Every time you choose discomfort, you sharpen the blade of your will. The mind is like steel. Without fire and pressure, it remains dull and brittle. Challenges are the forge where mental strength is born. If you avoid the heat, you remain weak. If you stand in it willingly, you emerge unbreakable. That is why I say, seek the edge of your limits every day. Push until you hear the voice that says enough, and then take one more step. That single step is where transformation begins. Do not wait for motivation. Do not expect fearlessness. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is movement despite fear. Discipline is not a feeling, it is a choice that must be made again and again. When you rise early to train while the world sleeps, when you practice until your hands ache, when you embrace the tasks others avoid, that is when strength is forged. The warrior does not ask, "Do I feel ready?" He asks, "What must be done?" And then he does it. There will be days when everything feels heavy, when progress seems slow, when the mission feels far away, but the warrior continues. Consistency destroys hesitation, repetition destroys weakness. The path is not walked in grand leaps but in countless small steps executed with unwavering commitment. Others will look for shortcuts, for easy victories, for praise. Let them chase illusions, you chase mastery. Remember, you do not grow by staying where you are, you grow by stepping into places that test your courage. Discomfort is not a punishment, it is proof that you are evolving. Embrace the challenge and you will become the kind of person who does not break when life becomes difficult, because you have already lived through difficulty by choice. If you can conquer yourself daily, then no opponent can ever truly defeat you.